Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Dice Trays Action. Before we get started tonight, just want to give a quick shout out to Lost Haven Art for our awesome logo and for the assets that became our overlay. You can find them over on Twitter at Lost Haven Art. With that, let's do the recap, which I'll take care of tonight, and then we can get right to it. Last we joined our valiant crew. They were taking steps towards looking into the disappearance of Moscow, along with perhaps a number of other people, as suggested by the Steel Gauntlet guard, Valder Silverson. First, they stopped by the Quiet Knight and met with Pavush and his friend uh, Klaus, who the party spent quite a bit of time preparing to speak with, only to find out that they were a bird. That's rude. That's unnecessary. Find out that they were, in fact, a crow with a fondness for pie. On the upside, it turned out that Kunskap Soccer is actually quite good at speaking with other animals, and they managed to start a useful conversation that ended with perhaps teaching this crow the value of currency exchange and suggesting to the kind owner of the establishment that perhaps it's time for him to start paying Klaus for his charm. After securing rooms at the Quiet Night, the group then proceeded to what was the name of it? Oh, the Warm Aside, in order to speak with One Fletch, where they learned quite a bit about how Moscow had come and asked for and then paid handsomely for both a room and lessons. From there, they went up to check out Moscow's room after finding out that Fletch was at least suggesting that he was under the assumption Moscow had left. And upon looking through Moscow's room, the party found a coin, a token with the symbol of Ozanti, presented to Fletch, who then explained that these tokens were used at the temple of Ozanti to secure a bed for a single night, although why someone who seemingly could pay the exorbitant, for lack of a better term, fee that Moscow would need one of those is anybody's guess. The party planned to then adventure back to speak with Moscow's mother, only to have Kunskapsoccer recognize that they were being perhaps tailed by an individual, which led us to a chase, which ultimately, while causing some rabble and riot in the street, ended with Aksha swooping down from the rooftops and pinning our new friend. After a quick conversation, it came out that this cloaked, hooded figure was, in fact, a leprechaun who worked for someone named the Hand. Her name was Deirdre. Deirdre, after some gentle prodding and some very sweet hand holding, suggested that perhaps after the sun go down, the party go to the wall in order to get information that may be of help. And with that, we return to the party.
Now I feel like we should be bringing roses or something to this meeting.
I mean, you guys, we're doing a lot of hand holding. I don't know what to tell you.
We had a runner
And so we're heading. We were heading to the Quiet Night Inn now, right?
for dinner.
Yeah.
Yes. Is there anything any of you would like to do on the way there? Otherwise, we can just, for the sake of time, fast forward to you getting to the Quiet Night.
On the way back, if there's anywhere I can like pick up some parchment and like a charcoal pencil.
Oh, sure, it's easy enough for you to stop in somewhere and pick that up. Relatively cheap. You could probably get it for a silver.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab that.
And it won't be a single piece. You'll have a bunch of parchment and a couple of pieces of writing coal.
Can I just get like a book also?
Oh, yeah.
Like a to write in?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Instead of the parchment?
Both.
Oh, both. It'll be 2 silver for that. But yeah, that's fine. So yeah, with that, you find yourselves having returned to the quiet night. When you enter, it's a little more populated than it was earlier. The dinner rush, more likely than not, is the safe assumption. And upon seeing you almost immediately, you hear the "Arr!" as Klaus sort of flies past you and perches himself upon one of Kunskap's horns.
Kunskap does not seem to really notice this or seem to care, and with the bird upon their head, moves to the table they were at before and sits down.
I sit
Toby
down
will
next to
join you.
Scott and pet the bird.
So once they sit down, Klaus hops off of Kunskap's horn and onto the table and just sort of flaps a bit, stretching out their wings. And then he looks around and hops again, and then he hits the table twice with his beak. Ah! Don't do it! And after a moment, Pavish comes walking over, and he looks at the group of you, and he goes, "Oh, welcome back."
4 meals, if you please.
I think we can manage that. Just 4? There's...
I am fine, thank you.
All right. Yes, you must be real skinny under there.
I work out.
All right, 4 meals it is. Did you manage to get what you needed?
Yes, and without any monetary exchange in the meantime.
Consider me impressed, that cheap son of a bitch. Surprised he gave you anything for free.
Indeed.
All right, 4 meals coming. Drinks.
Do you have any blood ale?
Oh, you're gonna have to go over to East Seat if you want something like that, and even then, might have to get lucky.
Regular ale?
That I can do.
Ale.
Anyone else?
Water is fine for me.
Water.
Aksha drink water.
Water.
Same.
All right. First round's on the house. He says as he walks off, and as he goes to leave, Klaus jumps off the table, flies back over to him, and is just sort of circling him, going, "Walking Dead! Walking Dead!" As Papa's
I really must teach him some new lines. This will get tiring after a while.
The animals.
You'll be surprised about what animals can do, especially when you know how to speak with them.
How long have you been able to do this?
How am I?
How long?
Oh. I think I spoke to my first beast of the woods about 12 years ago.
Is this something you enjoy doing?
It depends on the animal, I think. Ravens are very peculiar creatures, and they are who my people discuss with things the most and have a bit of a relationship with them. I have found bears to be boring. They always want to talk about berries and how big their last dump was after their hibernation. I found it very odd, and I didn't appreciate it.
Hmm. Is fair. After hibernation, big dump.
As for other animals, fish are dullards. They speak in patterns, only able to speak when their breathing coincides with it, which is just taxing, really. Um, but yes, for the most part, I enjoy speaking with animals. I had a deep philosophical conversation with an elk once.
Sounds fascinating.
It was. They weren't a normal elk as you and I would place them upon. They had a bit of a spirit bent, something along their ancestry. You've heard of individuals who have draconic blood in their veins or otherwise. From my understanding, they were akin to that. So they were a little smarter than your average elk, but still an elk nonetheless.
Did not know such bloodlines existed with animals. How does that so interesting to learn?
Well, I suppose if you're completely surrounded by animals, as a forest spirit is, relations will occur when they do.
Are there many spirits where you are from?
Spirits, yes. We swim in them almost.
Hi. I confess I do not know much about the tribes in the north.
It is colder than here, as I'm sure Toby would agree with, which to us is probably a little bit more comfortable. There are more, I wouldn't say there is more war, but more conflict, as resources are scarcer and there is more apt to be slinging a bow and arrow at a passing hunter in your lands than perhaps happens here. But yes, it's a peaceful place when that isn't occurring.
Do you miss it?
That question seems to make Kunska pause for a moment, as if the thought had not been ever wondered before. There are parts that I miss, I will admit. I do miss my people in general, but as I have not had a family in many years, well, as you would put it, not a family for many years. I do not have many binds there. But I do miss those who I used to speak with. I miss the spirits I had a relationship with. Besides that, I think I was made to do what I am doing and therefore embrace it for all of its worth.
What are you doing exactly? I do not understand what your purpose here is.
I search for those that we have lost.
Your people often wander and become lost.
It's not my people I'm looking for.
I must confess I do not understand.
That will come with time. It is not a question that is easily answered, especially in lands such as these.
Then I look forward to the day when I do understand.
That's when Kunskap seems to lean in and go, that's the day that we all shall understand.
And almost as if timed out, just as they say that, um, bowls start being placed around the table in front of each of you as Pavish returns. Uh, First, the bowl, and then mugs full of water for everyone but Toby, who in front of which he places a slightly larger mug, and he goes, "Enjoy, it's good stuff. Made it myself."
I'm gonna like grab it, just take a sniff.
Sure. It smells strong. It smells very, very hoppy.
Okay. So I'll like lick it a little bit.
Sure. It's a bit nutty with just a touch of malt, and there's sort of a nice little cream finish at the end.
Mm. Mm. You do good work.
Thanks.
And then he just like starts taking a big swig of it.
I call it the Will-O-Wisp Ale. For dinner tonight, we have a nice pork chowder. I hope you all enjoy pork. We don't have much else. Is there anything else I can get for any of you? Wonderful. Well, I won't trouble you with the bill right now in case anyone wants drinks or anything. You're staying here, so I can't run out on the bill. So once everyone's all done for the night, we can finish up.
That sounds very fair. Thank you.
Kunskap will push their bowl of stew towards Toby, as they had actually ordered for two for them in case they had more of an appetite than the rest of the party, which I think is a good assumption.
It is a good assumption.
And very discreetly takes a good berry, puts it in their mouth under the mask, and then out from their robes pulls a long straw made of reed, which they slide under the mask and begin sucking out from the cup of water.
As you push the food over toward me, I look and I glance and see what you're doing. I also kind of see the straw come out, and I gesture with the ale like, "Do you want any?"
It is not my time for such inebriations, but when that time comes, I will join you.
Until then, and I take another swig. Thank you.
Of course.
So, oh, please go ahead.
So, what is our next step? I do believe a relaxing dinner and then wherever the walls will take us, yes?
Agreed.
That's a good plan.
Rory, I'm a little curious about your current affairs. You have specifically someone you answer to, yes?
I guess so, yeah.
I am of only passing knowledge of the dealings of the guild, knowing as we have it, my people have a deal with them for hospitality. However, I'm just wondering if there is someone or something you need to report to the guild, especially if we are to be gallivanting around this city.
Uh, not necessarily. We can take up assignments and tasks that people request for us. That's the reason we met in that cave. I was just on an assignment that I took up. At the moment, there aren't any pressing issues that I need to address, so I can see this to the end.
And Aksha, I don't want to forget about why you came here. I do not know if your current path or what you are seeking will be found where we are going. Perhaps when this is finished, I will join you on the search of what you are looking for.
Actually, just been sticking a spoonful in it, and he's like, yes, my master is sadly gone, so I do need to find his friend and find answers to what happened. He was killed. Somebody killed him. I don't know who. So,
Yes,
but
who was it you were looking for again?
Bryn Tolling. They said he was gone and not in town. They wouldn't let me in. East Gate was rude.
Ambergate.
Amber Gates, yes. Was rude. But I appreciate, actually appreciates that, yes. For help.
Perhaps after this, we can, or even as we do this, we can ask around and see if there is anyone who knows when this individual will return.
This would be good. Yes. Actually, I've
And
been so focusing on Moscow. I keep forgetting I have to do things. It's okay though. I want to help.
I am very sorry for your loss.
Yes. I don't, he's my only family. I don't know anyone else.
As you do this, Toby's going to like push over the second plate of food closer to Aksha of, if you want to eat more, little one, grow big and strong. We will go with you where you need to go. Make sure you find who you need to find.
Oh, Action. Thanks you. Yes. Action intends to grow big. I'm a dragon. So I must grow bigger.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
An impressive dragon.
Yes.
Only
Yes,
dragon Toby
mighty.
has ever met.
Mighty impressive.
Biggest dragon Toby has ever met.
Good.
Has Kunskap ever heard of a ascension of what Aksha is speaking of?
Never. It is. It sounds completely outside of the realm of possibility to you.
Well, I don't know about that, but um, very well. I just wanted to touch base with each of you. I do want to not to make anyone think that I am forgetting them, but Gierna and I had a discussion the other day about Actually, it might have been the same day. Time is weird.
It is the same day.
Yes. She is currently, as far as I remember, my dear Gerna, a bit of a protector of me and Brory.
That is my current purpose, yes.
Good.
Although I do not mind encompassing more people into that fold.
Well, since Aksha is a mighty dragon, I do not think he will need any protecting. And therefore, Brory, however, being the soft, cuddly bear that we all know him to be, might need your sword more often than either Brory or I.
I am not in need of protection. Toby can protect himself.
Even the most capable of fighters occasionally need protection from a friend.
'Tis true, but protecting 3 instead of 2 is quite the task.
Yes. But I assume this is something of a group effort at this point.
And who shall protect you?
I shall. Besides,
Already protecting 3 then. 4 instead of 3? Perhaps we just protect each other.
I do not require protection. I am not alive. The living require protection.
Are you a ghost?
So the lenses that she has for eyes make a clicking sound, and a dark shade comes over them and then lifts again, and it very much just looks like a robotic blink as she sort of considers this for a moment. I do not think I am possessed by a ghost, but there are many possibilities for the ways that I work. Even Lilith herself was not sure how it happened.
So as I see you do this, I am about finished with the ale. So I look into it, realize how much I've had to drink. This was very good, but I do not think I should have another.
This is probably for the best. While you are finishing up, I will ask our host for access to the, what did he call it? Special package?
Yes,
Ah,
the,
yes.
the haunted rooms.
Yes. So Kunskap will scoot out from the booth and go up to he was a dwarf, right?
Yes. As you approach, you notice he's in like the midst of conversation with a human gentleman, and he's just sort of making these wide sweeping gestures. And as you get closer, he goes, "And then everyone forgot, but the eggplant was still there." And the two of them just erupt in raucous laughter.
Kunskap just kind of stands there, not meaning to be, but probably menacingly behind this individual.
After a moment, Pavlish's eyes look up at them behind the patron, and then there's a moment where and Pavlish goes, "No, it's fine. It's fine. It's they're good people. They're good people."
I was wondering if I could take a look at your special rooms, just in case for the future my compatriots would enjoy a night's stay there.
Hmm. You just want to give it a look over?
Yes.
Sure. I guess I can do that. One of them's free and open right now.
Yes,
Huh.
I just wouldn't want my friends to go into this room and have any danger upon them.
Oh, no, there's no danger as long as you don't do anything to make the ghosts upset. Walking Dead.
Hmm.
Seems
Okay.
that's the ghost.
Spirits can be fickle creatures, and who knows what might set them off. So, which room is it?
All right, so it's if you go up top, they're pretty easily marked. It's the first one. It has a 1 on it. You'll be able to tell it apart from the normal room with a 1 on
Kunskap will nod, and
it. Yep. Don't break anything.
I wouldn't dream of it. Kunskap will go upstairs and stand outside of the room. And
Yeah, it's very obvious which room it is. There's like
Yeah.
a coffin carved into the door surrounding the like number 1.
just in
Course it is.
case Kunskap's assumptions are incorrect, they will reach into their robe, pull out a small pouch, open it, reach inside, and pull out a pinch of salt, which they run along the outside of the door before opening and entering the room.
Sure. So you push the door open, and the first thing you see is this rather large window that looks out directly into the yard. Just rows and rows of tombstones and crypts, and with these 2 sort of like jutting towers. Uh, Beyond that, you see the walls are covered in sort of a sheen of dust, with what look to at first to be sort of crawling tendrils of blackness spread throughout the wood. The bed is little more than a sack stuffed full of likely hay, put onto some device that looks like it could much as well have been a torture rack as it could have been a bed frame. There are the same sort of thick, ropey cobwebs in the corners of the room, and the bowl with what otherwise looks like fairly clear water in it seems old and rusted, with these designs of clawed hands reaching up for the outside rim. And you notice the candles that create the light in this room tend to flicker, sort of, and don't seem to give off as much light as you would expect from as many candles as there are.
Kunskap will kind of stand there outside the door and just look inside for a moment, seeing if they sense anything of particular note. What would you like me to roll?
Do you have like detect good and evil, or
I do have that spell. I do not have it unless I can
prepared?
change them during a short rest, which is what I just went through. I don't think I can though.
No.
Yes. So no, I do not have that
No.
spell active.
You could. You could try rolling me a religion, but the odds are it will not give you too much.
Oh, really?
What is it?
Natural 20 with a total of 25.
Pretty good. As far as you can tell, closing your eyes and sort of reaching out to the divine energies that you feel emanating from within you that sort of tied to the world around you. You don't feel anything here that seems out of place, evil, corrupted, or otherwise of negative energy. However, roll me a percentile.
A 54.
That's all.
While Coonscop is gone, Girna's gonna be taking a minute to pull out some parchment and draw out the runes that she uses to show him when he gets back. Them.
I am finishing
Honest.
eating.
Yeah, I'm just gonna finish eating myself.
Sure. The chowder is surprisingly good considering the state of this place, but it's savory, and the pork meatballs do not taste at all of sawdust, which is a pleasant surprise considering. There's little dumplings and some green beans and even some mushrooms in it that just create this very hearty chowder.
It's been days since Aksha ate, so he eats a lot.
So does he eat the other bowl that Toby offered?
Maybe half of it before he gets full. He's like, "Oh, I done."
Good appetite, little one. And Toby like grabs it, the bowl back over, and just like starts going to town and finishing it. Do not waste food.
Seeing Toby sort of like destroying this bowl, Pavish eventually makes his way back over and goes, if you want, there's a little bit left if anyone's still hungry. I'm not looking to save any of it. No takers.
Just so
Bring it
full.
here. Bring it here. I will finish it.
Ah, good man. He points over at Brori. And what about you?
I'm good for now. Thank you, though. It's good.
He points over at Girna. You sure it's good? They're telling you it's good. I don't want any left.
I do not think my companions liars, but unfortunately, I am just not able to put a scrap inside myself. Thank you.
All right. Your loss. And he like kind of pats you hard on the back as he passes. So, Kunskap, what would you like to do?
Not noticing anything negative, Kunskap will enter the room and begin to look around to see if there's something else here.
So as you enter, almost the moment you step past the doorway, you feel this cold chill sort of wash past you. Nothing seems to stir or move at all. But just for a moment, you are chilled, almost to the bone.
Is there a direction that the breeze specifically came from?
It felt more like you stepped into it than it came from any direction. It was almost as though it was stationary and you stepped inside.
But it stops.
Yes, it's not persistent. It's just that moment when you step in.
Kunskap will walk backwards and then walk back in again.
Happens again?
So it happens again.
Yes.
They'll do it one more time.
They feel it again.
And Kunskap will get down on their hands and knees and try to see where this is coming from.
You could roll an investigation or perception for this.
23.
23. You don't see anything that seems like it would be where a breeze would come from, or alternatively, anything that would create it as a result.
If only I had detect magic.
Speaking of which, we'll jump back downstairs for a moment. So after a minute or two, Pavish comes back with another bowl for you, Toby, and he puts it in front of you, and he goes, "Go to town, enjoy."
Thank you. Oh.
Oh, someone's real hungry, huh?
Lots of walking.
It's a big city, Southreach.
Mm-hmm. Southreach small. Lots of walking before Southreach.
Oh, small, you said. Not too many cities in Lazantis bigger than here. Well, not counting Dine Sandri, of course. And I guess, depending on who you ask, because those Drachalans swear they're bigger, but it's not true. We're definitely bigger than them. Don't let them fool you. You expecting to be around for a while?
I believe that we should be here for quite some time. Yes.
2 days at least.
Well, my beds and my rooms are always here for you. We nothing I like more than well-behaved, respectful patrons who know who not to give their gold to. Don't do
Well,
it!
I'm definitely well behaved and respectful.
It does seem that way. So, did you come just to look into this missing kid? Is that what brought you to the city?
Not Aksha. Aksha came to find someone. Yes. Yes.
Someone
know
else.
Yes. Do you know a Bryn Talwyn?
And taller. You know, I don't, but JH might know him.
With JH?
Mm-hmm. JH JH knows everyone. He's a great guy. He's around sometimes. Not always. He's a busy man, you know, with all the businesses, but he's a good guy.
What was the name again?
JH.
Okay.
Does he come here often? Or is there a place I can
Sometimes.
find him?
So he comes here often. You can also find him. So he owns the, what was it called? Bottle and Gold.
Oh, Bottle and Gold. Yes, I've heard of this place before.
Yes. Toby is interested in Bottle and Gold. Toby is interested in knowing people. Do you know an alchemist by any chance? Toby came here looking for an alchemist.
Well, I don't know him personally, but I've never really needed any elixirs or anything. But yeah, the Bottle and Gold is an alchemy shop. JH's shop, he owns it. He doesn't operate it, but it's his money in it. You could always go check them out. They're over in EC. Good people over there. He's a good guy, and he makes sure to hire good people. He's been a real boon to Southreach. You know, it's funny. his family helped build the city.
This-
Really?
Mm-hmm. Generations ago at this point, but yeah.
This is a famous person.
I don't know if I'd call him famous, but he's very well off.
And he's not. He doesn't live in Ambergate then.
Oh, he does. He does live in Ambergate, but he doesn't. He's not like a lot of those hoity-toity jerks who don't leave. He's very much likes to get his hands involved and be. He's really kind of a man of the people kind of guy.
Perhaps this JH may also be able to tell us something about who could possibly have been funding Moscow.
That's true. Maybe he could. He knows all the movers and shakers in the city. That's why I suggest he might know your friend. What do you say his name was?
Bryn Talwyn.
Bryn. Yeah, you might know Bryn.
Yes. Well, this is good. Thank you.
Not a problem. If
do
he
you also know anyone named Bozer?
those are by the docks.
Yes.
Those
Do you
is
know where he would be?
Well, probably by the docks. I mean, he doesn't have a residence here or anything. He sleeps on the boat. But if he's not by the docks, he's out at sea. And who knows how long it'll be before he gets back. Man, lives and breathes the ocean air.
Yes. Yes, I know that life. I know that life well. Do you know his boat?
Oh, the anathema.
Say again?
The anathema.
Thank you.
No problem. He's also good people. He's a little less sociable than the Baron, but still good.
Just wondering, what does this JH look like, so we can keep an eye out for him?
Oh, he's a relatively older gentleman. Just a little bit portly. Still in pretty good shape though. White hair, big white beard. He's got wide shoulders. Always dressed real nice, but that comes with the territory. A lot of rings. He's a big ring guy.
Excuse me. Did you say the Baron?
Yeah.
This JH, what does the J and the H stand for?
That's his name. Joseph Harold Hadley.
Hadley.
Mm-hmm.
As in Baron Hadley.
That's right, yeah.
You know?
Okay, thank you.
He's a good guy.
Does Baron Hadley have any children?
That is a complicated question. He did once, but his son just disappeared. He was
Oh, yes. He had heard of this.
he was pretty broken up about it. Just between us. I feel for the guy. He's a good guy, but his son was a real piece of shit. So, you'll be hard pressed to find too many people who felt bad he's not around anymore. But, losing a kid is still losing a kid.
Do you know his son's name?
Yeah, of course. It's Topher.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, just, that's a night I won't forget. He just, JH was in here getting absolutely plastered.
How long ago was this?
Long time now. A year and a half, maybe.
I went missing a year and a half ago.
Never found him. Best bet is JH finally got fed up with his shit and kid ran off before he could get a real talking to. Or he did something stupid and his dad wasn't about to bail him out again, and so, you know, a lot of people rather live on the run than behind bars.
Very good information to have. Thank you.
Yeah, just don't bring it up if you see him. You know, it's understandably a sore spot, and the last couple months he's really started getting himself back together.
Understood.
Turning back to Kunskap. What are they up to?
Kunskap is going to continue to search around the room for any signs of or anything strange.
Yeah, and Kunskap spend a while just sort of I assume just really walking around the room and looking under and in things, right?
Mhm.
So eventually, as they near the bed, you hear a whisper, soft and subtle, impossible to make out exactly what it's saying, but it seems to be a collection of voices, just sort of murmuring.
Kunskap will listen. Do they say anything specifically, or are they just noises?
They're just noises. They're. It's impossible to pull out any one or two particular statements.
Kunskap is going to get up, go outside of the room, and kick their foot across the salt to make sure that no one can really notice it, and then walk back downstairs and sit down next to whoever's in the edge of the booth.
Sure. And when you return, is just about when Pavlos is starting to get up, and excusing himself back to his duties. After telling you that if JH does come in at all, he'll make sure that the Baron knows y'all are looking for him.
As soon as he is without earshot, the masked face will turn to Brory and say, I have the sneaking suspicion that with your abilities, you will be able to find something interesting up there. I did not notice any supernatural things in terms of spiritual infestation, but I have the bit of an assumption that there's something else in there causing strange effects.
Check it out, I guess. Stand up and follow him upstairs, I guess.
Kunskap will point out the spot that the wind came out of.
Okay. This should be my last detect magic for the day. Do I see any kind of floors in the room? Or?
So you're casting it, right? You're not.
Yeah, this is the last spell slot of the day.
Sure. Okay. So you see there's some green auras sort of scattered throughout the room.
Which, man, what kind of aura then?
Green would be enchantment.
Okay.
And you also see that would be, and you also see a slight orange glow sort of pulsing from underneath the bed. That would be transmutation.
Okay. Do I see anything under the bed if I peek down and look?
Peeking down, you don't, but if you sort of like dig in, like behind one of the posts, you find the source of it, and it's this stone. And it has this sort of sigil carved into it. And as you bring it closer, the whispers become louder and louder. But you can tell, the two of you can tell as you bring it closer, that it's literally just going, just incoherent whispers layered over each other.
Just nonsense. Okay.
Yeah, just nonsense whispers.
Yeah, this looks more just to set the mood than anything of concern.
Well, I don't see any particular reason why one would want to pay extra for a bad night's sleep, but we shall, in case the others are interested, keep this to ourselves. Maybe they'll just
no
enjoy
harm
the
done.
atmosphere. I'm sure Toby would very much appreciate such wildling things.
Yeah, no reason to ruin the illusion. And I put the little rock back behind the.
As the two of you turn to leave, you see this sort of like, just out of the corner of your eye, movement of something that seems vaguely humanoid just go past you. But by the time you turn to look, it's gone. Rory, you see on the wall that it would have been moving past a bit of like purple energy sort of radiating off of it. It's illusion magic.
More parlor tricks.
I wonder, indeed, if our host would pay me more to put an actual spirit in here.
I doubt that, but if you think you can make some point off it, no reason not to try.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
When I have that ability, perhaps to convince such things to. I'm wondering how that would make me have to then convince his spirit to be paid, like I did with the crow. That's an even harder task. Never mind.
Yeah, if you don't know how to bargain with the spirit, that just sounds like a recipe for a bad time.
Well, it's not bargaining with them. It's more of finding something they want. But it's fine. Oh. And Kunskap seems to think for a second, and Brory can almost feel the grin coming through the mask before nodding to themselves and just walking downstairs.
Right? Follow suit.
And Kunskap goes down to the table and says, "Do I know how long it is till sundown?"
Only a couple minutes now.
Okay. Well, I suppose if everyone is finished with their meal, we can start heading out, and Kunskap will go up to the bar again and pay for the meals.
Sure. With all the meals plus the extra bowl, 4, 5, about, yeah, Oh, plus the drink. Let's call it a gold. We'll call it even.
Coonscop again will go through the ritual of trying to find their gold pouch before pulling out random pieces of dead animal and bone and rune.
That's
before-
gonna have to clean the counter tonight.
Oh, I apologize, and then slides a gold over.
He drops it under the bar. You know, so few people come through here with such full purses. Where where do you get all that gold from?
I am a traveler, a finder of wisdom, and when I am able to take upon my quest, my organization gives me some gold to help me survive. And as I said, I have set up a tent outside of the guild hall, and I do readings from the gods to alleviate people's everyday anxieties or to try to guide them on a better path, which more often than not they are happy to pay for.
Hmm. And what did you think? He says as he points. Oh,
The head cocks, as if searching for the right words on that one. I think that it would cause restless slumber.
hmm. Sleeping with spirits often does. No, it doesn't. Thanks.
I have found it to be the opposite where I'm from, but perhaps my spirits are different than yours.
Maybe.
Well, we are off. I am sure my
I
compatriots
think you're
will.
muted. Sorry.
Girna's gonna come over and slide 2 gold towards our bird friend. Scott Sokar, would you mind telling the bird to give this?
If this is out of character, if Girna wants Kunskap to spend another spell slot to do that.
Well, Gina doesn't know that.
Yeah. If not, another time.
I think I will. I think I will save that. I'm pretty sure that Klaus is intelligent enough to follow my advice. If not, then that's their choice.
I'm hoping so. 2 gold, and with the hope that he brings it to the appropriate people.
Looks at it, and then he looks up at you, and then he looks over at Kunskap Soccer. And then he goes back to pecking at one of the now mostly empty pie trays.
Yes, for pie.
Well, we
Good
have a
bird.
bit of a walk to get to our destination. I believe we should just start heading out.
That's the plan.
Yo,
Oh, Kunskap, this is for you. They are the runes that I use. You were curious. And she hands him the sheaf of paper with the runes written on it.
Kunskap will take it and hesitate a bit before folding it and putting it in their pocket. If I were to start studying them now, I'm sure I would be too distracted for what's coming. So I will look upon these when I have a better chance. Perhaps tonight together when we are sheltering for the evening.
Certainly.
And when they do go, Aksha will inform Kunskapper of what they talked about with Pavish.
Another line to follow. There are so many.
So stepping out into the night street of Southreach, the sun now has set completely, and it paints a very different picture. The streets are a lot less populated, though not entirely empty. Stalls closed, shops closed up for the night as well. You are as likely to see a member of the guard as you are a group of people walking by now. Stray sounds echo through the empty streets and alleyways. Birds, dogs, rats, the occasional beggar here or there, the closer that you get towards the wall. It's a relatively cool night with just a soft breeze, clouds sort of passing by, covering the full, smaller moon Vena, and continuing unimpeded with Abos sort of waxing crescent behind it. Just a sliver of vacuous black in the sky. Your journey takes you once again past the docks and the outside, but gated, carefully gated and protected um, gardens of the Dominestica, which, as always, continues to loom as an ever-present authority in the center of the city. Moving into the lower quarter, it's a strange sort of visual sensation to almost to the streets and how they're divided. Some are noticeably of taken less care of and of worse construction than others. Some more representative of what you'll see in West Seat, some more like East Seat, and some like the walls. Eventually, your walk will bring you through the production district, which itself is a almost unsettling experience in the dark of night. Very few lights to guide your path, and most, if any, of the movement or bodies that you see are those who tirelessly work throughout the sundown until sunup, hired protectors or city guards who have been tasked with keeping production moving, construction, movement between this district and the warehouse district. And eventually, you find yourselves at the gates leading into the wall. Tales of the best parts of Southreach are marvelous, resplendent even. But in this shadowy district, you find the antithesis of those stories. Dour puddles that struggle to reflect the dim silhouettes of the buildings around them. Rickety scaffolding stands forgotten, houses slumped over almost desperately against it, praying for just another year before inevitably collapsing in on itself, while above narrow catwalks connect rooftops that haven't yet succumbed to age and disrepair. Passers-by, dark or pale, faces hidden in hoods, seem to generally avoid eye contact. But despite this, there is always this looming feeling as you set foot here that someone, somewhere, is watching you. And overlaying all of it is the stench of filth and fear, desperation and danger. Suffice it to say, the wall is not a great place to be. It is a far cry, even from what some would consider the lower part of Southreach and East Seat.
Here I sought Annie's and the quiet inn where ramshackle. Suppose we best start looking around for the symbol.
I will
Uh.
begin to search for the markings that we were told to look for.
I'll roll a perception as well.
Sure, go for it.
Back to below tens, 13.
You got to get that initiative boost again.
20.
Okay. After about 5 or 10 minutes of walking around, seeing all sorts of these broken down buildings, people sort of huddled in small, sort of thrown together huts of brick and wood and cloth. You notice against, sort of carved into the wall of one of these larger buildings that seems to have sort of fallen apart in the center, which has not deterred a number of people from making residence inside of its broken down halls. Carved onto the wall is that symbol of the hand. And with it is, you notice on the ground, right where the dirt and sort of half-heartedly cobbled street meets the wall, is the small scratch pointing into the to the west. Following it will lead you to another symbol, and after the third in a line of these, you see a familiar figure sort of sitting on a half-collapsed catwalk, sort of watching you. It's very hard to miss her with the green hair. Red hair, sorry. With the red hair.
Is there anyone else around?
You could roll me a perception to see if you see anyone else around. There's no one in your immediate vicinity, but
16?
You notice sort of off in the shadows down the street that you're currently occupying, there is the shadow of another person just sort of there.
Further down from in front of us or behind us?
In front of you.
I'll keep an eye on them.
You're super ready to pull out her stuff and throw down. 'Cause it's sus from start to finish.
So, you made it.
So we did.
And it's really just you guys, huh?
We are not ones to pact if one is created.
Good, good. All right. So listen, let's talk. So she sort of hops off, and it's a good 6 or 7 feet down from where she is. And she just sticks the landing easily enough, and dusts herself off. So, where I'm going to take you and who you're going to meet with, you have to understand it's real important that you respect where you are and you respect what I think are the obvious implications of it. Yeah, because that's how it works here.
Of course.
All right, look, don't fuck around and it'll be okay. But you'll see. Look, it's hmm, it's complicated. She says as she starts like walking. There's there's a lot of people here, more than you would think considering the state of everything. But it's where we call home. We don't really have any other choice.
Why don't you have another choice?
Where else are we gonna go?
Anywhere. There are many who travel without a singular place to be.
Yeah, we're not big on travel. We're town folk. We're city folk. This is our home. We don't want to have to find places to hide out in caves and build up tent. We've got stuff here. This is where we're supposed to be. And you know what? It's not on us to have to leave. You don't
Not
get
all
it.
people can do things like forage.
Huh. Oh, we forage here too. It's just a very different kind.
I actually do understand the idea of one belonging to something or an idea or a place.
Yeah. Just wish it wasn't so forgotten.
Why does the city neglect this place so?
Guess they don't give a shit about us. We we work the factories. We work production, and that's all we're good for. You'd be hard pressed to find many people coming here from anywhere northwest or east of the low quarter.
Production work is valuable labor and should not be forgotten.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Now try telling them that.
Hmm.
But if we stopped, well, that would cause more problems.
How
So,
long has it been like this?
oh, longer than I've been alive. Longer than a lot of us. See, here's a fun fact most people don't know. The wall, this is where the city started. We were Southreach once. That's what this was before it became everything. But expansion happens and people get left behind. So, we make our own destiny. Work with what we got. And the hand takes care of us. Now, granted, maybe sometimes it's not the most scrupulous of methods, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do to survive.
Who is the hand?
That's my boss. You'll meet him.
Well, no time like the present.
Just a moment. Get this map active. So eventually, she, after leading you down a couple of alleyways, brings you to a single young tabaxi leaning against a brick wall. He looks reasonably tense as the group of you approach.
Thought he was just angry because of that haircut.
Oh, that's just mean. And she goes, "All right, wait here. I'll handle it." And she walks up to him, and the two begin talking quietly. After a couple of moments, he sort of like sighs, resigning himself to what he's about to do. And he opens up a set of locks and pushes these two large doors open, revealing an inner warehouse. And then he motions for the rest of you to follow.
Follow suit.
Same.
Yeah, you guys can pick your marching order however you'd like.
Moonscop will be keeping their eyes out very carefully.
I'll stay near the frontish.
Sure. Why are there two Aksha? I don't know. Now there is one. Sorry about that. All of a sudden.
Not at all, apparently. I rolled a 2 for a total of an 8.
You almost stumble over one of the boxes in front of
Those God sent dust bowls again.
Yeah. And then after leading you past the wagon and a number of different boxes and barrels, he moves up towards the stone wall in the back. And somewhere in the wall, you hear a click. And then a section of that wall, indistinguishable from the surrounding surface, sort of slides back and off to one side, quietly enough that you suspect it's on some sort of rollers or track of some kind. And then he steps to the side. He motions for you all to go through. But before, and as, hang on, as Girna, as you approach, he leans in and he goes, "Do not be stupid in here."
I am never stupid anywhere.
Good. And he steps off to the side, allowing Deirdre to lead you guys in. You are free to enter.
Is there sufficient lighting down here?
Yes, yeah. The lighting should all be set up as you move.
Yes.
Not lighting up for me.
That is because I think you are in a wall. There you go.
Yeah, I think the wall.
Yeah, as you keep walking forward, you'll
Oh.
get there.
My goodness. I was hoping it was some kind of club, and I'm so jazzed.
Literally.
Don't know where I need to go in.
Same.
I got you.
There's a door somewhere. Where am I?
So, as the group of you enter, there is a rather large individual that some of you will recognize as a Goliath, just sort of staring you down.
Where exactly is the Goliath? The one next to us?
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
He's right there.
Yeah, and as you enter, you see before you a surprisingly large, almost tavern-esque area full of tables with people sort of hanging out and drinking, chatting, overlapping conversations. Directly ahead of you, you see a gnomish woman playing on a piano, and beside her another gnome with a what looks like a cello of some sort, sort of playing. Deirdre looks at the group of you and goes, "All right, grab a table. It's probably gonna be a bit. I gotta go talk to him. I mean, he knows it's coming, but you know."
We'll find something.
She leaves you to yourselves.
Kunskap always goes to the corner.
Yes, channel your edgy powers.
Will I break one of these chairs by sitting in it?
You can grab two of them, and if you use two of them, you should be fine.
Okay, that's what I will do.
Yeah.
I'll have taken this one from over here and just been
Yeah,
like, "Hey, give me
take one
that,
from the
and
other
then
table
move it
also.
over here, and I'd be sitting."
Yeah, that's fine. And of course, yeah, okay. Brewery Kunskap, both of you give me perception checks.
Oh boy, oh boy.
17.
8.
Great. Okay. So yeah, brewery, you don't really notice anything strange or out of the ordinary. Kunskap, you notice that a lot of these people seem to at least be presenting themselves as people of questionable means. There's a lot of masks and hoods, and a lot of them tend to be speaking loudly or rowdily, and a lot of these eyes seem to settle on the group of you as you come in and settle down.
I'd best be careful around here, as the guard mentioned to us. It does not seem like the sort of place where we could get away with the sorts of things we did with the guard.
No, there's many people.
Well, hopefully fish people don't attack us while we're down here, so that won't happen.
We should be on the lookout for monsters.
I believe we are surrounded by them, my dear.
But not all monsters are those monsters.
This is true.
How rude.
Although I will say it has been a long time since I heard a bard play. It is refreshing.
After
I have not.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
have not been in a place like this. Well, that's not true. Never mind. No, I have been in many places like this.
After a couple of minutes, this dwarven woman dressed very obviously as service staff approaches the group of you and goes, "Hi there. Can I get you anything to drink?"
Do you happen to have blood ale?
Ah,
Then a blood ale for my friend, please.
sure, yeah, we could do that.
Toby is impressed they have blood ale.
Any other requests?
Oh, actually, it's good, but thank you.
I'll have one as well.
She stops and she sort of points over at you, Brory. Don't see too many of you around here.
See too many of me as well.
Interesting. What brings you to these parts?
We were told that we must meet with the hand.
Meeting with the hand, huh? Alright, well, I hope it's about good business. I'll go get you those drinks. Just walks off without another word. Just sort of leaving the group of you to yourselves for now. You notice that this pit that sort of fills the center of the room still has a few now dried but still clear bloodstains splattered throughout, making it fairly obvious what this particular part of the room is for.
Blood drives.
Yeah, of course. Help all those ailing vampires.
I wonder if it is to the death.
Then, after a couple minutes, she returns, placing the blood ales in front of Toby and Rory. That'll be 4 gold, please.
You're gonna pay for it.
Yeah. Takes the...
Thank you, friend.
Enjoy.
May I ask, the combats that takes place here, is it to the death?
You really are new around here, huh? Wow. No, it's not to the death. We're not animals. Except that one time. But that was their choice. It's not on us.
I will ask no further questions on this.
No, it's not to the death. It's till someone gives up. Or until
Sounds
the
like
other
fun.
person feels like they're done.
I am not actually rolling for insight, which I got a 16 for on relation to the arena, but how much my dear friend Girna has overpaid for these drinks.
Phew, that's tough. You've never really been in a place like this before. You can assume that based on the way that everything looks outside, it's probably not the easiest thing in the world to get blood ale here, considering in some of the nicer parts of Southreach you don't have access to. So is it an overpayment? Maybe. It depends on who you ask, really. But it's hard to gauge exactly.
Kunskap will just seem to bob to the music for a bit.
Is the waitress still there?
Sure, yeah.
Is anyone fighting tonight?
Not as far as I know, unless you're interested. You could probably find you someone.
I have not dueled in quite a long time.
Could be good to shake off some rust.
I'll think on this. Thank you.
If you're interested, just let me know. And then she steps away. Leaving you with your thoughts on battling and your blood ale.
How was your drink, Toby?
So I sniff it as always before taking a sip, and I'm like, unique. Not quite like home, but has tastes of the familiar. I am surprised they had it here, as no place else so far has.
I believe this place is somewhat fancier than the places we have been, ironically.
Fancy, but hidden. It is odd.
Not considering the company.
Or their choice in entertainment.
Yes, Bori will down the blood ale. How strong is it?
Strong.
Like lion mane curls.
Yeah, if you're drinking it quickly, I am gonna ask for a Constitution check.
Yeah. What's the point of having a drink if you don't make a con check?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Save or check?
Check. Check. We're not in safe territory yet.
Okay, 17.
Yeah, you're good. It's cool. It punches you in the face, but you hold yourself together pretty well.
All right. Strong.
Have you had before?
Nope.
Ah, back home, we would make it ourselves out of whatever catch may be left. But I have not had in quite some time. You do not see many places with access to it down south. They do not seem to care for the ways of the north.
Do you think it's lack of access to the materials to make it, or lack of interest in people?
I think interest. Obi thinks they have moved beyond these things. They try to cage fish and keep them in homes. I do not understand these people. And they cast away the people who build their own city. Why?
Most organizations have their flaws.
People confuse Aksha too. Why they kill Mentor? Why does music sound interesting? I've never heard.
Aksha has never heard music before?
No.
Ever?
Mentors talked about it, but I've never heard it.
Quite an experience for you, Zen.
Yes, very much so. And Aksha is standing on his chair, looking at the musicians, and his tail is just all like swishing around.
At another time, let me know. I am able to play music, if you are interested.
Oh, yes, yes, I would much like to hear.
Rory, do you want to roll me a perception check? You and Toby both.
Is it to see people who seem to be approaching us?
It might be.
Perception.
Mine is-
And 9.
yeah, mine's is great.
You like one from me as well?
No, not right now.
Really?
I think I'm distracted.
Ooh, it's supposed to. Mine's a 12.
Okay, so, Aksha, you, kind of are standing up to look over at the musicians, right? So you would be the first one to notice this, and then not too long after, Kunskap, you would notice the movement coming in your direction of these two gentlemen, one of whom you hear almost as announced by the ornate metal tipped cane sort of tapping against the stone floor, and his partner, who is considerably larger than him, who is Lavion, with a sort of wide, almost red tinged mane and dark, heavy set eyes in a set of heavy, like black plate armor. And as the two gentlemen get closer, you can make out more of the details of the other gentleman, who you can see. He's got sort of dark hair and is very pale, with like elven features, handsome with sort of striking emerald green eyes and a blood red overcoat with shining silver buttons that makes the suggestion that he's far more well off than you would expect anyone here to be. He cuts kind of a lithe form, taking his time closing the distance and eventually settling into a seat here. And for a moment, he sits in silence, leaving the music of the band as the only real recognizable sound, as everyone else in this place seems to have fallen silent. And with legs crossed, he just sort of watches you, one gloved hand resting atop the cane with the same sort of skeletal markings running down the fingers that you saw in the symbol, and the other resting against the back of his chair.
Kunskap will see the way that they are sitting in the chair and try to emulate.
And he looks almost quizzical as he watches us.
Trying something new.
As soon as somebody says something, Kunskap goes back to their regular position.
I did not mean to dissuade you.
I am merely attempting to see the world as others see it, and having a seating position of which allows one to look in another direction may help.
You hear an audible sort of chuckle, almost a scoff, from the pale elf in red, and he goes, I spent the best years of my life in the festering scars of this city. The cracks in civil society, where all sorts of nasty things grow. After a while, I realized it's not the courtrooms and the parlors that make a place what it is. It's those cracks where the desperate survive. The rest is window dressing. My perception, my perspective is not one you will be able to garner simply from crossing your legs and hoping to understand. It comes from years of suffering and toiling. It comes from mistakes being made and taking upon yourself the quest to correct them, even if it means making others. Hello, you. Ragtag group. 24 hours you're here and already everything is going crazy. Huh.
Not done much to make things go crazy.
No. But I have a feeling you're only getting started. I am Galbraith Runlith, but you could call me the Hand.
Can you spell that?
Absolutely. Galbrie. And then his last name is Runlith. Runlith. And for the record, yes, I was very tempted to just start spelling the word hand.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
We'll see. I'm not sure it will be yet.
When they were discussing the sufferings of the city, and only people who have suffered will be able to understand, Kunskap's hand goes to the middle upper section of their arm and rubs it as if self-consciously.
Almost imperceptibly, Galbraith's eyes twitch for a moment as he clearly acknowledges their movement. So now you are here because someone was unlucky enough to have been caught. Though I suppose there's serendipity to it all. So tell me, what can I do for you? And the entire time as he's speaking, the Lavione standing beside him is grilling you, Rory. His eyes have not left you for a moment.
Stare off. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, we are simply looking for information about Moscow Reedbloom.
Another in a long line of those missing, yes?
Yes.
Curious. Why?
His mother has obtained our services in helping find him.
Interesting. I did not think she could afford anyone's services, much less such a unique group as such as yourselves.
I never said that she paid for it.
Ah. And therein lies the crux of my curiosity. Nobody does anything for free, especially not here. And so, why?
I cannot speak for my companions, but for myself, this is the right thing to do.
A sense of duty. And the rest of you?
Aksha has experienced loss. I do not like people experiencing loss. I wish to help her. And in turn, I find answers to the things I seek.
Their quest aligns with my own.
Convenience, sympathy, kindness. And you? He says, looking over at Kumsko.
I go where the gods guide me, and the gods guided me here.
Funny. I don't think there are any gods left here.
Perhaps that is partly the reason why they need to be found.
Perhaps. Or maybe they, like so many others, are desperately scrambling for a chance to be relevant once more. The ebb and flows of progress and all that. And that just leaves you.
Just here helping someone who needs it.
More kindness. He glances up at his companion. It's a fairly running trait with your people, isn't it? And he almost scoffs, still not taking his eyes off of Rory for a moment. You will pardon me if I don't believe most of you. But I'm sure your reasons will become clear soon enough. How can I help you?
Your friend that we found, captured, as you say,
Deirdre, yes.
pointed us in your direction.
As she tells it, she didn't have many other options.
She was following us, and I was curious as to why, as I am one that if someone is following me, there's usually a good reason. Her reason was less deeply thought than I had expected.
Hmm. And what reason did she give?
That she knew this individual.
And?
She had overheard us speaking about him.
Ah. Interesting. And that prompted her to follow you. I suppose there is some misconceptions here, but before I take the time to clear any of them up, I have to ask, what do I gain by doing so?
I can give you a reading of the gods that you say are not here.
I make my own destiny. Have no need for input from the gods.
I may, to save each other needless dancing about. We are new here. We do not know the workings of the city, and so we do not know what would be valuable to you in order to propose anything. Perhaps you could tell us what would be of interest to you, and we may move forward from there.
Hmm. Well, you are looking for information on, what was it, Reed Bloom? He says, looking up at his companion, who just barely nods his head with a Uh, all right. Well, I can offer you that information, but I will need you, and for the sake of balancing out what will seem like quite the task, I will give you my word that this information is prudent. But in return, well, first, you will have to procure something for me.
Here's something.
Yes. And once you have it, and bring it here, I will give you what you are looking for. Otherwise, I will consider our business concluded, and you are welcome to enjoy drink and food and perhaps a good fight. And then when you leave this place, I would appreciate that you not return.
What sorts of things do you want procured?
Well, that could be incredibly complicated if I were to explain the details and then have you decline. So, as much as it is an exercise in trust, I will need your word that you will do so first. Of course, it's a difficult decision to make, and I am on no particular timetable. If you would like to take a time to discuss amongst yourselves, that would be fine. I'm patient.
May I ask what it is not?
There are as many things that it is not as there are blades of grass.
Certainly. I mean, in the specifics, you are not asking us to kidnap a person or.
It is
to-
not alive. It is not, nor was it ever alive.
And the person or establishment we would be procuring this from will not be greatly harmed in this act?
There will be every opportunity to ensure that nobody has to suffer unduly in the act of procuring this. That is all I can offer for
That is fair.
now. Fair? I don't think so, but reasonable. Yeah.
Would you all like some time to think?
Yes.
Then I will be over there, he says, pointing the tip of his cane back towards. And then slowly rises and goes, "Oh, for the sake of ensuring you don't make the poor decision to trash my establishment, I will be leaving you in the very capable hands of Evral here. Don't worry. He's just going to keep an eye." And then he proceeds to step away. Or would, if I could get this working.
Ignore me!
He leaves! Ignore me! No. Very strange. very strange. Yeah.
And he just teleported over there. Okay.
Yeah, he just walks away. He's gone.
Powers.
I personally am not one for thievery.
Yeah, I can't say I am either.
I do not like that he did not say what it is. That must mean it's something we will not like to do.
Aksha agrees. It doesn't sound very good.
Just wondering, are there any windows in here?
Brody goes out a window.
Yeah, I was like, are we technically upstairs or downstairs?
Currently, you are technically. Why is this not working? Oh my goodness. You are technically upstairs.
Okay, so we're upstairs. All right, got it.
Why is this not? It's very strange.
Punch through the wall and escape. Ah!
I thought we had gone down to a basement.
Same.
So, yeah, that's why with the windows, I was like, wait, why would there be windows?
I mean,
It's
some
just
basements
dirt.
are just enough underground that they stick out a little bit. And you
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
like those slit
Get, like, the
windows.
little ones.
Yeah, but no, this is above. This is up. You went up. You
Yeah.
came out through the thing, and then you
Okay.
climbed a set of stairs.
We would just be able to send Aksha for help.
Eh.
That's it. I'm screwed.
The gentleman said that they are not on any sort of timetable. It is not an urgent request. So perhaps we go out and we see what else we can find and use this as a last resort.
You did ask us to never return.
Ah, that is true. Hmm.
What other options are available?
The shelter.
And the Baron, JH.
Technically forcing it out of him.
I do not think that would be wise.
Yeah. That's the technically.
There are many people
Kunska.
here.
One moment, Kunska. Upon the suggestion from Rory that you force it out of him, you notice the barest hint of bared fang in like kind of a smirk coming from your current babysitter.
This is a criminal underground organization. We would make many enemies by causing trouble here, and it is best that we do not.
Yep.
So,
Aksha agrees.
Yes, Aksha, you've been rather quiet. What are your thoughts on all of this?
Aksha doesn't want to jeopardize finding my own answers by not being able to go about the city if this is something that is, what's the word? Not good? Not good in nature?
then it seems that it is settled.
As much as we want answers, I don't think finding answers in bad ways is going to lead to good.
So who wishes to talk to our host? Or shall it be I?
Yes,
Shall we just leave?
I believe that would be rude.
All right.
Unskap gets up and begins to walk over to.
So, Kunskap,
Oh boy.
hang on.
Fiona's gonna very hurriedly follow.
So, Kunskap, as you get to about here, Evral sort of steps in your way, looking down at you with a sort of harsh gaze. And I think that's where we're going to leave it for tonight. To be continued next week. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of DTA, and thank you guys. I hope that you've enjoyed this session, and next week we will find out what happens to our ragtag group of heroes now in an uncomfortable situation.
We fight that guy. Tell me we have to fight that guy. I want to fight that guy.
Let's flip some tables.
We'll find out next week. Have a good night.